Capital budgeting techniques. So, in order to maximize the return to the shareholders of the company, it is very important to take the best decision which brings the highest returns. And any bad investment proposal, it leads to financial loss as well as it disturbs the company's performance because these decisions involves a huge amount of funds. That is why it is very essential to take care of all the project evaluation and selection process. So there are a number of techniques available for appraisal of investment proposals. These are classified into two types. First one, traditional, and the second one is modern techniques. So in the traditional techniques, popular technique is a payback period method, accounting rate of return. So in modern techniques, net present value method, profitability index, and internal rate of return. These are the modern techniques, and we can call these modern technique as a time adjusted or a discounting cash flow techniques because these modern techniques considers the time value of money. So we'll go one by one. Traditional or non-discounting methods. First one is payback period method. The payback period of an investment is the length of the time required. Simply pay back whatever we are paying in how many days and how much time it will take to get it back. So, whatever we are investing, paying, investing, that investment, whatever the time required, that is the time period to get it back in the form of returns. Okay, so payback period of an investment is the length of the time required for the cumulative total of net cash flows from the investment to equal the initial cash outlays. So payback period is at that point in time the investors has recovered the money invested in the project. So how to calculate this payback period? So first two steps are common. The first one is determine the total initial capital investment. Whatever the investment, we have to determine it. And the second one is calculate or estimate annual expected after tax net cash flows. So whenever we consider cash flows, we must consider the after tax cash flows only in the capital budgeting. So after tax cash flows over the useful life of the investment. And third step, when the net cash flows are uniform. See, from third step, it will be different. If the cash inflows are uniform in nature, the calculation will be different. And if cash flows are not in uniform, the procedure is different. So, when the net cash flows are uniform for the useful life of the project, the number of years in the payback period can be calculated using the following equation. So payback period is equal to total initial capital investment divided by annual expected after tax cash inflows. Annual expected after tax cash inflows. So you will understand with the example clearly. Suppose a project costs 2 lakhs, sorry, 20 lakhs and yields annually a profit of 3 lakhs after depreciation at the rate of 12.5 percentage, but before tax 50 percentage. Here we have to understand the language. So annually profit after depreciation but before tax, profit after depreciation but before tax. So explanation, first step we have to calculate the capital investment, total initial capital investment, that is 20 lakhs, no add-ons, like working capital, installation charges, nothing. So in the second step, annual cash inflows we have to calculate, annual after tax cash inflows we have to calculate. So here already it is mentioned profit after depreciation but before tax, that is 3 lakhs. Already they deducted the depreciation at the rate of 12.5 percentage. So now we have to do is we have to deduct the tax amount. So profit before tax is equal to 3 lakhs less tax amount 1,50,000. So we will get the profit after tax 1,50,000. Add depreciation written off. Whatever the depreciation we deducted from the profit, we have to add it again, because for cash flows calculation there is no effect because of the depreciation, because it is a depreciation is a non-cash expenditure. We are not paying anything. The cash is not going out. It works as a tax shield. That is why we have to deduct the depreciation first, and we have, after calculation the tax, we have to add the depreciation, so that total cash inflows you can simply determine. So the third step is annual profits are uniform, because throughout the life it gets 3 lakhs yearly, annually. So in this case cash flows are uniform. So we have to apply the formula, total initial capital investment by annual expected after tax net cash flows. So after tax net cash flows are 4 lakhs. So initial capital investment 20 lakhs divided by 4 lakhs. So within 5 years, see, if we get 4 lakhs a year, within 5 years we can recover the investment amount. So whatever we are paying 20 lakhs, we are getting back, we will get it back within 5 years. So it takes 5 years time to get our investment back. So this is how we have to calculate the payback time period, payback period, when uniform cash flows are there. So what if cash flows are not uniform? When the annual net cash flows are not uniform. So we'll go with the example. So how to calculate with the payback period method. So XYZ Limited is analyzing a project requiring an initial cash outlay of 2 lakhs. So investment is 2 lakhs, and expected to generate yearly cash flows as follows. So yearly expectations are 80,000, 60,000, 60,000, and 20,000. There are 4 years. So the life of the project is 4 years. So first step, initial capital investment 2 lakhs. Second step, cumulative cash inflows we have to determine. So cumulative cash inflows 80,000 in the year 1, and in the year 2 60,000. In the sense we have to add the 60,000 to 80,000, so that 1 lakh 40,000 we will get. And third year 60,000, so it comes around 2 lakhs. And in the fourth year 2 lakhs 20,000. We have to cumulate the all cash inflows. So the third step is, in the third year total cumulative cash flows is equal to the initial capital investment. So our capital investment 2 lakhs, and with this project we are getting the 2 lakhs back in the third year. So the payback period is 3 years. So within 3 years we can recover our investment. So the recovery period, the payback period is 3 years in this case. So if initial capital investment is 2 lakh 5,000, how we have to calculate? See, we have to determine the cumulative cash inflows, right? So our capital investment is 2 lakh 5,000. So 3 years, within 3 years 2 lakhs. So the remaining 5,000 we have to recover in the fourth year. So in the fourth year 20,000 we are expecting. See, from the above table, payback period shall lies between 3 to 4 years. 3 years completely. But in the fourth year, partially we can recover. So, since up to 3 years, a sum of 2 lakhs shall be recovered, the balance of 5,000 shall be recovered in the part or fraction of the year. So, how much is the fraction? 5,000 divided by 20,000. If we are expecting 20,000 annually, in the sense in 12 months we are getting 20,000. How many months it will take to get the 5,000? So 5,000 divided by 20,000, that is 0.25, or one fourth year. One fourth year. We can convert into months as well. Okay. So 3 years, 3 months. 4 quarters. So 3 years, 3 months. The payback period is 3 years, 3 months. So what are the advantages of this payback period, and limitations of this payback period? So it is easy to compute, and the second one is it provides a quick estimate of time needed to recoup the cash investment. So it gives the quick estimate. So in how many years we are getting our investment back. Likewise, a quick estimate it gives. So, third one, the length of the payback period can also serve as a estimate of project's risk. Longer the payback period, higher the risk of the project, as long term predictions are less reliable. So, say for example, if there are two projects are there, okay, in those two projects, in the one first project, the uh, payback period is less, in the sense within 2 years we are getting our investment back. But in the second option, second project, so it takes 4 years to get our investment back. Okay, so longer the period, higher the risk. So what payback period suggests is, if payback period is less when compared to the other projects, consider the less payback period project. Okay, so that is what it suggests, because whenever period extends, so risk will also be there, uncertainty will also be there. So predictions are less reliable in the long duration. Short payback period often become the determining factor for the investment in some industries which are high obsolescence risk, like software industry, or in situations where an organization is short on cash. So in those industries, say for example, why software industry? Because every day um, the software is getting changed, so modernization is coming. So the life of the, see, if someone invented one software, so the life of the particular software will be very less. Immediately after a few days, the next version is coming. So alterations in hardware, it is very difficult. Alterations in the um, modification, competition, it is very difficult. So always they prefer payback period is a shorter duration. So limitations, it ignores the time value of money. So as long as the payback periods for two projects are the same, the payback period technique considers them equal as investments, even if projects generates most of its net cash flows in the early years of the project, while the other projects most generate in the later years. Say for example, here here the payback period is 3 years, right? So it does not consider further cash flows. Okay, see, we have a um, option to select a project A and project B. Okay, project A generates these cash flows and its payback period is 3 years. Project B generates um, more cash flows after the payback period. Say for example, project B payback period is 4 years, and the cash flows are 40,000, 40,000, 60,000, 60,000, 70,000. Okay, 4 years we have to consider, right? 90,000. See, in project A, if you consider this, if you assume this as a project A, so within 3 years, we are getting our investment 2 lakhs back in project A. But in project B, it takes more than 3 years, more than 3 years, because within 3 years, it able to collect 1,40,000. But in fourth year, it cash inflows, the returns are higher than the project A. But if we go with the payback period always suggest project A because it takes only 3 years time to get our investment back. It does not consider this 20,000, and um, there is a limitation for this method. So it has a 90,000 returns in the fourth year, but it won't consider. It calculates only 3 years plus payback period is there, but in project A only 3 years is there. So better go with the 3 years. Likewise, it suggests. So that is the limitation with the payback period method, and it fails to consider investments total profitability. So it ignores cash flows after the payback period. Just now I told you, after payback period, it ignores the cash inflows. And too much emphasis on short payback periods, ignoring the need of investment in long term projects. So always it emphasizes the short term periods, but it is ignoring the need of the investment, need to invest in long term projects. Why we are investing? So it enhances the competitive position. That is what the drawback in the payback period. And another method is accounting rate of return. Accounting rate of return, an investment measures the average annual net income. See, here in this method, payback period method, it is not considering the 90,000 returns in the fourth year, right? But average rate of return considers all the cash flows. So that is what the advantage of the accounting rate of return. So how to calculate this accounting rate of return? Average annual net income by investment. So average annual net income, we have to average the annual net income. So we'll go with the example. Times Limited is going to invest in project a sum of 3 lakhs rupees. So cash outflow is 3 lakhs. Having lifespan of 3 years. Salvage value of machine is 90,000. Profit before depreciation for each year is 1,50,000 before depreciation, 1,50,000. So how to calculate the average rate of return? The profits after tax and value of investment in the beginning and at the end of each year shall be as follows. See, profit before tax 1,50,000 each year. So we have to deduct the depreciation. Then profit after depreciation. Okay. So after depreciation, see value of investment in the beginning and at the end. So in the beginning 3 lakhs, we have to deduct the depreciation from the value of investment. So we will get at the end of the year the value of asset or value of the investment 2 lakh 30,000. And in the second year beginning it is 2 lakh 30,000, and again we are charging depreciation. So the set value, the normal wear and tear of the asset, we have to deduct it. So that asset value is 1 lakh 60,000. And in the third year we have to deduct the 70,000 again. So at the end of the project the value of asset is 90,000. So value of mission salvage value 90,000. So accounting accounting rate of return can be computed by the following methods as follows. So this can be calculated in various methods. First one is annual basis. So annual basis and total investment basis, and the third one is average investment basis. So there are three versions are there. So in the first version annual basis. So profit after depreciation divided by investment in the beginning of the year. If we consider only in the beginning of the year of investment, then that will the ARR will be different. See, profit after depreciation, profit after depreciation we have to consider because there is no sign of tax mentioned here. Okay, so profit after depreciation and investment in the beginning of the year 3 lakhs. In the second year beginning 2 lakh 30,000. In the third year beginning it is 1 lakh 60,000. So each year we have to calculate the accounting rate of return. So profit after depreciation divided by investment in the beginning of the year. So 26.67 percentage. And we have to average all accounting rate of returns. Average accounting rate of return. So we have to divide it by the life of the project, 3 years. So finally we'll get 37.15 percentage. So in the second method, if we consider total investment, so how it appears? See, average annual profit. Now we have to average all the annual profits 80,000, 80,000, 80,000 divided by 3. We have to average it. So how much comes? 80,000 only divided by 3 lakhs. So accounting rate of return is 26.67. See, in both versions, the accounting rate of return or average rate of return is different. If we consider only annual basis, annually we have to calculate the accounting rate of return. But here, total investment basis, total profits by investment in the beginning. So what if we consider average investment basis, average annual profits by average investments. So average investment calculation is different. We have to remember investment in the beginning plus investment at the end divided by 2. So that is the average investment formula. So investment in the beginning, that is 3 lakhs, plus investment at the end after deducting the everything. See, depreciation. Every year we have to provide depreciation. Finally, we will get the end of the um, value of investment at the end, that is 90,000. So 90,000 by 2, 1 lakh 95,000. And there is another formula: half of the initial investment minus salvage value. Initial investment nothing but 3 lakhs minus salvage value. We have a salvage value of 90,000. See, salvage value of machine is 90,000. So initial investment 3 lakhs minus 90,000. Half of the amount we have to consider, and again we have to add the salvage value. Okay, so amount will be the same. See, sometimes we don't have the information about the investment in the beginning and the investment at the end. So in such cases, so this formula we have to use to determine the average investment. So average annual profit is equal to 80,000, 80,000, 80,000 divided by 3, that is nothing but 80,000. So accounting rate of return formula: average annual profit by average investment 1,95,000, that is 0.4103 or 41.03 percentage. See, we are calculating rate, accounting rate of return. So the result will be in percentage. See, if additional working capital is given in the problem, then we have to add it to the investment. After calculating the average annual um, average investment, we have to add it to the average investment, the traditional working capital. Calculation will be the same: 30,000 minus 90,000 plus 90,000. That is the formula. And if any additional capital investment is given, then we have to add it. So the average investment will be more. So what are the advantages of accounting rate of return? This technique uses readily available data that is routinely generated for financial reports, and does not require any special procedure. And the second advantage is it considers all net incomes over the entire life of the project and provides a measure of investment's profitability. So payback period method, it is ignoring after it is ignoring the cash flows after the payback period, but it is considering all net incomes over the entire life of the project. That is what the advantage of the average rate of return. This method may also mirror the method used to evaluate performance on operating results of investment and management performance. Using the same procedure in both decision making and performance evaluation ensures the consistency. So the same procedure, it also useful while evaluating the performance of operating results and management performance. So the procedure will be the same. Limitations: it ignores the time value of money. So in the initial stage itself, I mentioned it is non-discounting technique. It does not consider time value of money. So it ignores the time value of money. And this technique dependent on the organization's choice of accounting procedures and different accounting procedure. Example, depreciation methods can lead to substantially different amounts for an investment's net income and book value. So, dependent on the organization choice. So, organization choice is whether to follow the written down value of written down value method of depreciation or a straight line method of depreciation. How much is the depreciation they're applying it depends on the accounting procedures followed by the company or management. So that is why it is a limitation that it is dependent on organization's choice. So this method uses net income rather than cash flows. So this is another limitation. So it uses the net income than the cash flow. While net income is a better measure. So what is the difference between net income and cash flows? Net income is a better measure of profitability. Cash flows is better measure of investments performance. So this is the difference between net income and cash flows. So investments performance is determined with the cash flows, not with the net income. That is the limitation with the accounting rate of return or average rate of return. So we have another illustration. Project requiring an investment of 10 lakhs and it yields a profit after tax and depreciation which is as follows. So profit after tax and depreciation up to 5 years, the total is 4 lakh 60,000. Suppose further that at the end of the 5 years, so determine the average rate of return. A, if initial investment is considered. B, if average investment is considered. So how to calculate the ARR in these two versions? So if initial investment is considered, the formula is average rate of return is equal to total profit by number of years. Total profit 4 lakh 60,000 and number of years 5. So that is 92,000 average return. And initial investment is 10 lakhs. Initial investment is 10 lakhs. So average return by initial investment, that is 9.2 percentage. Accounting rate of return is 9.2 percentage in the first case. And coming to the next case, if average investment considered, so what will be the average rate of return? Average return is 92,000. Just now we calculated it. And average investment. So with the given particulars, this formula is a appropriate one. Half of the initial investment minus salvage value plus salvage value. So initial investment is 10 lakhs. Initial investment is 10 lakhs and salvage value 80,000. Salvage value 80,000. So half of the 10 lakhs minus 80,000, that is 9 lakh 20,000. Half of the 9 lakh 20,000, and we have to add it, 80,000 we have to add. So half of the amount is nothing but 4 lakh 60,000. We have to add the salvage value again. So it comes around 5 lakh 40,000. So accounting rate of return is equal to average return by average investment. So it comes around 17 percentage. So accounting rate of return, this is how we have to calculate it. Coming to the next method, net present value technique.